Hi guys. All right. Sorry I can't be here today. I'm just a couple doors down. Anyway, I just wanted to go over the formulas really quick because we're just going to be doing a couple of these problems. First of all, this one is a kite, right? And it is diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 times 1/2. I also like to think of it as diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 and then divided by 2. It's kind of what I like to picture it as. Obviously, triangle here. Oops, if I could remember how to spell it. And this I also like to think of as base times height divided by 2. Rectangle. I don't know if there's ever been a video where I haven't sneezed. A rectangle, the perimeter is 2 lengths plus 2 widths, and area is length times width. A square, of course, perimeter is going to be adding up all 4 of your sides, or your sides times 4, and the area is going to be your side squared, right, because each of them is a side. Parallelogram, is going to be your base times your height, and your trapezoid is your base 1 plus your base 2 times your height, all times 1/2. I also like to think of it as your height times b1 plus b2, all divided by 2. I should probably put A equals for area. And then a circle, just know that we think of pi equal to 3.14. That's the term that we want to use, or the number that we want to use. C for circle stands for your circumference. And it's the distance around the circle. It's its perimeter, but since it doesn't have any corners or angles, you can't really say perimeter, but distance around circle. And the symbol that I use for circle is a circle with a little dot in it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go ahead and find the area of this shape, which is a square, right? 8.5, 8.5. So area is going to be 8.5. And we're going to square it. And we are going to get area equal to 72.25 feet squared. All right. So square. Now we're going to look over here to a triangle. All right, and I've got my base, which is 15, times my height, which is 21.3. I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm going to get my area equals 159.75 meters squared. Okay, well now, for my kite, I'm going to look at my diagonals. I'm going to see that this entire diagonal here would be 8, so diagonal 1 is equal to 8. This entire diagonal here would be equal to 6. So I'm going to multiply the 2. My area is going to be equal to 6 times 8 divided by 2, which 6 times 8 is 48 divided by 2, my area is going to be equal to 24 centimeters squared. Okie doke. Let's look at this parallelogram. And it's going to be your base, which is 12.9 times your height, which is 7.1. All right, when you multiply those, you will get 91.59 inches squared. Okay, so what I want you guys to remember, hold on, let me turn on a light here. Right here, your base and height have to be perpendicular. Okay, so knowing that, ooh, that pink doesn't show up very well, does it? Knowing that, let's look at this one down here. All right, so I have to look for my height. Let me get a darker, maybe a blue here. It will show up a bit better than this pink. Okay, so this is going to be my height, and this is going to be my base. Because even though it isn't touching it, they are perpendicular to each other. So I'm going to multiply the two. I am going to do A equals 11.8 times 16.1. And I will get my area is equal to 189.98 meters squared. Okay, so then I have, it starts to get a little bit trickier. I have a half circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the area for it, but I'm going to divide it by 2. So area is equal to pi times my radius, which is 17, and then squared. So when I actually do that, I'm going to then divide it by 2. And we're just going to multiply 3.14 into it. So I'm going to end up with 453.96 feet squared as my answer. Okay, here's something that's a bit trickier. All right, we have to use our trig here. This is 30, that's 90, so this has to be 60. Okay, across from 90 is 2n, across from 60 is n rad 3, and across from 30 is n. So I have two shapes here. I have this square, and I have this triangle. So we're going to be finding the area of two shapes. But we're going to have to do a little trig in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for n first, which I'm going to do 10 equals 2n, divide by 2, and get n equals 5. So I know that this side right here is 5. Okay, well, that's pretty cool, because if I zoom in a little bit, I can now find the area of this square, which is going to be 5 times 5, right? They're all the same. And that will be 25. Okay, so there's 25. And now I need to find the area of this triangle. Oops, sorry. So what I'm going to do is, knowing that this is 5, I'm going to do 14 minus 5. I'm going to get 9. So I now know that this side is 9 right here. Goodness, guys, forgive me for what I just did. It's actually a trapezoid. So I need my two bases. We're still gonna have this as 5. So this is gonna be 5 down here. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our two bases. So 5 plus 14. So 5 plus 14 are two bases. And then this color is not showing up very well. Maybe it was better when I didn't have the light on. 5 plus 14. And then you multiply it by your height, which is also 5. So 19 times 5. And then we're going to divide it by 2. Hold on one second while I multiply 19 by 5. I want to say that it is 95 divided by 2, and we get 47.5 centimeters squared. Okay, let's go ahead and flip our papers. And I want you guys to go ahead and try 12. Keep in mind what I just drew in here. Okay? And let's look at number 16. Find the length of the second base of a trapezoid with one base measuring 12 feet and a height of 4 feet. So remember, a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 times your height divided by 2. So we know one base is 12 plus your other base we don't know. We know that the height is 4 feet. We know that we need to divide it by 2. Whoops. And we know that it has an area of 58 feet squared. So I plugged everything that I had into the formula. And now I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. That will cancel this out, and I'll end up with 12 plus my base that I don't know times 4 equals 116. So to keep solving, I'm going to divide this side by 4 and divide this side by 4 and get 29. So I'm going to have 12 plus b equals 29. I'm going to subtract 12 and subtract 12 and get b equals 17. Okay, so I would like you guys to try 15 and 18. So far, you guys are doing number 11, 12, 15, and 18. Number 11, 12, 15, and 18. Okay. Let's look at composite figures. Go ahead and put this under here for now. And, okay, what is a composite figure? It's a figure that can be separated into regions that are basic plane figures, like triangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, rectangles, circles, etc. To find the area of a composite figure, divide up the regions and find each area, then find the sum of the areas. Sum, think addition. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is my first figure right here and my second. All right, I'm also going to draw a line down so that these are perpendicular to each other. And to find that height, oops, I'm going to do 18 minus 12. I'm going to get 6. So now I know the height of this trapezoid is 6. So for area 1, I'm going to do 12 times 23. I'm going to get 276. Okay, for my second area, I'm going to do my base 1, which is 23, plus my base 2, which is 15. I'm going to multiply it by my height, which I know is 6. I'm going to divide it by 2. When I do that, I get 114. Now, for the final area, I go ahead and take my two areas, I add them together, and I get 390 centimeters squared. Okay, this one right here is a little different. I'm going to go ahead and say these two combined are going to be my one circle, right? And I see that their radius is 6 inches. And then right here, that's going to be my parallelogram that I multiply. Okay, so for area 1, I'm going to do 12, which I get the 12 from doubling my two radii. So 6 plus 6 is where I get the 12. I'm going to multiply it by 5, my height, and I'll get 60. Okay. For my next one, I'm going to go ahead and do pi times my radius, which is 6, and square it. I'm going to get approximately 113.1. And now for my overall area, I'm going to add them together, which is going to be 60 plus 113.1, which will give me 173.1 inches squared. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And I want you to try number 3 and number 4. And then that's it for your notes today. Mrs. D will give you, see, nice blank page. She will give you the homework, and hopefully this is making some sense. Nice little reprieve from the last unit. Bye, guys.